So anytime I start a new game, I like doing two things. One of them is definitely start a free-to-play series because it's perfect to see and understand how the average player experiences the game. And number two, spending. That way you get to experience all the heroes. You can give advice on how to use those heroes and see what your long-term goals are as a free-to-play account. And I'll be honest, out of both accounts that we're going to show you here today, free-to-play is just a lot more fun. There's so much more strategy involved. There's not just like throwing money at problems. It's actually thinking strategically, planning ahead, making sure you're going for the right heroes, and making sure you're not making mistakes. So I'm going to show you guys my experiences I've had so far. As fun as it can be to be a whale and just, you know, buy your way to power, it's kind of like that regret that you get. It's like you get that instant gratification, then you just regret doing what you did, because again, free to play is a whole lot more fun. So hopefully if you guys are like me, whether you're a spender or whatever, you kind of hear both sides of the story, because I play at every spending point. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Make sure you guys take one second, hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about the free to play versus whale situation. So just for a reference point, this is what our main account looks like. We just got over 25 million power, and as fun as it feels like it is to do this, you get to a point where you're like, was that spending really worth it? Because you basically just brute force your way through everything. You completely beat all the AFK stages, and it doesn't really even feel like an accomplishment when you do that, because it's like, oh yeah, I'm stuck somewhere. I'm just gonna money. You can kind of solve the problem. Getting through the rest of the story mode is pretty simple as well. I mean, like getting through all this. The hardest part was just waiting to have enough hero essence, because even to get through peaks 8, you need to, I think, have average resonance of level 201 just to unlock it. And while it does help speed up progress because you can rank higher in the dream realm, which is going to give you tons of dream fragments and all these other resources, it feels like cheating. It really does. And it feels more so in this game than I've ever really felt it in others, where I almost just don't want to be spending anymore. Like it's kind of weird to say that, because again, strategy is still important. Building the right heroes, having the right team synergy is important. It makes it a heck of a lot easier when you can get like plus 10 exclusives on tons of heroes, but that's not something a free-to-play can do. And on free-to-play, strategy matters a whole lot more. I cannot tell you how much more fun this game has been to play free to play. Yes, you do hit walls much more often, where sometimes hit the AFK stages wall, where you can't continue to progress your story until you do more AFK stages. There's other times where you're going to have resonance be your basically threshold where we can't get past it. Like right now, I believe we're actually at the point where we just need to push even more, because we need to get further in the AFK stages. It does, however, swap very soon, where you get to the point where you can finish more AFK stages and you're waiting on the resonance, which does feel bad, but let's be honest, spenders and free to play are going to experience that same chokehold, which is called hero essence, especially now that even on our free-to-play account we have all the game modes unlocked. Essentially, we have the primal lord going, and you guys know how good his resources are. They are just absolutely amazing. You're just never going to need the training manuals ever again, and getting into like the top 100 as a free-to-play feels like an accomplishment. Even if you're on a very whale heavy server, staying in like the top 50 as a free-to-play feels really good, especially considering when you spend, you only stay in like the top 20 versus the megalodons on your server, the ones that are going really crazy. And it just feels like things you get done feel better, right? I think everybody can agree, as a free-to-play player, when you get these achievements done, it feels a lot better, because it's like you earned it. Instead of just throwing money at a problem like you can do in real life too, you take the time, you understand your heroes, you figure out the best lineups to use, and you find cool synergies. Like, I'm absolutely loving this new account where we went all in on Floorbelt. Does the average player need to do this? No, because they probably started before our free-to-play. They went for Cessia, and that's cool too. However, we're just a single copy away from getting her to Mythic Plus. And once we get her to Mythic Plus, that is a gigantic boost in power to our account, because all of the summons we have now have a shield and are going to be that much better at surviving. And having a new hero on a new account is actually really fun, because I feel like everybody went for Cecia strategies with the normal team. This one, we're able to do something a little different. We're able to innovate and we're able to have a ton of fun. What also feels so much better on a free-to-play, in my opinion, is summoning, because again, when on my spender account, it's like, okay, I expect to get this amount of things, and if we high roll, cool, yeah, whatever, we got extra hero copies. We're stargazing, yeah, cool, we got some extra stuff here, we got some extra Ryanair copies, we got them up to Mythic Plus. All that means is we're going to do more damage against bosses, and it's like, yes, you feel that power difference, but at the same time, after you spend that money and get the hero, it's like, was that really worth it? Was getting Ryanair up to Mythic Plus really that necessary to enjoy the game? And the answer is almost every single time, absolutely not. Now, building Ryanair on a free-to-play and slowly working up to Mythic, now that is going to feel like an awesome kind of achievement for most players. Now, I do think there is one thing that a lot of people are getting a little bit afraid of, and that is the season that's coming up, the first ever season of AFK Journey, Song of Strife, because as we heard in the spoilers and all the rules and everything, you need to have a hero resonance of 240. Now, even on my spender account, it took about a month with buying a decent amount of hero resonance packs and stuff like that to actually get our way up to 240. Now, there's two things to remember. Number one is this doesn't come out for 42 days from the start of your server. So even our free-to-play that's 1 week old, we still have a lot of weeks to go. We have like, what, 5 additional weeks, right? I think it's like, what, 6 weeks? 6 weeks from the start of a server for Song of Strife to come out. And beyond that, you have to remember, this is going to be active for 4 months. That is a long time of game time. And even as a free-to-play, you will get to Resonance 240 as a free-to-play player within that time period. Chances are, if you started day one as a free-to-play and you've been playing optimally, you've been checking out all of our guides, learning how to kind of better your progress in the game, it's probably going to take you about 2 more months to get to Resonance 240, because overall it takes about a day per hero at this rate to get them up a difficulty. So like today, we'll get Rowan up to 110. Tomorrow, we'll get Floribel up to 120, and so on and so forth, where you slowly work your team all the way up. And it does ramp up in resources as well, as you can clear more things. Because remember, it's not just the daily grind materials that you're getting from here. Clearing stages gives a ton of them. Other game modes give a ton of resources. More diamonds to get your heroes up to higher qualities. All these things are going to start to ramp up, and you really start going to the moon. Eventually, resources like summons do slow down, but not at the point where you already have a solid team. You're available to do a lot of progression in a ton of game modes. And again, the big important thing is Season of Song of Strife, or Song of Strife. We really don't know what the rewards are going to look like. It might just be a lot of cosmetics. It might be additional summons. We'll just have to wait and see exactly what it looks like. But don't worry, you will definitely get to 240 if you're playing regularly during this season, and you won't miss out on content. So I'd love to hear how your experience has been, whether you're a spender or free to play, because again, I like playing the game as both so you can get a better understanding of how both of them experience the game, because, well, you need to be able to talk about different game experiences, and hopefully I've been able to explain those to you guys throughout the videos of free to play strategies and spender strategies. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. Let's help that algorithm straighten itself back out, and I'll see you guys next time.